Let's talk about wonder, shall we? Oh, I ended up inside. Adam must be destined for this question. What is wonder?
What is it? To me, I guess wonder would be like being awake to the sense of mystery about life. Having a question mark, not feeling like you know everything and all the answers. Makes me think of kids and the contrast between kids and adults.
Is that important?
Yeah, I think it's important to be like a kid in the way you perceive things.
So like the Wonder Years. You know, like that TV show?
What would you do if I sang?
What is that?
Would you stand up and walk out on me?
Yeah, maybe I'm dating myself a little bit there, but I had to give a nod to the Wonder Years. It was so fitting for what was just said. Maybe I should have chosen a more seasonal song, like "It's the most wonderful time of the."
Can we go back to the focal point?
Do you think asking Father Michael about this question would be a good idea?
Let's do it. Let's do that.
Let's do it. Deep into the recesses of the Airbnb to find the majestic Dominican friar. Hey, Father, we have a question for you. Hey, you working here? What you working on?
I'm working on a homily for the fourth Sunday of Advent.
Oh, that's perfect, because the fourth Sunday of Advent talks about wonder. Well, what is wonder and why is it important?
What is wonder?
Yeah, in like concrete sense, like what is wonder?
Well, Aristotle says it's the beginning of philosophy. I think it really is the beginning of philosophy because it is a sort of amazement at the very fact of things.
Do we need to wonder?
Well, if you don't wonder, you're hardly human.
What does that say about children?
I don't know, but I'm listening.
Is wonder important?
Goodness gracious, if you don't wonder about things, then you'll never really see anything fully.
So wonder helps you go deep.
Right, exactly. Actually, wonder, in a way, begins when you do see something significant. A lot of people think that in believing something, you stop thinking or you stop wondering. Actually, it's the absolute reverse. If you believe something, then you start wondering.
Mic drop. You just go like this.
What?
Mic drop. We'll teach you that later. I have a surprise for you guys. In order to go deeper into something, you have to see it in the concrete, not just abstract. So we're gonna go someplace that's really wonderful. We're heading to Lake Tahoe right now. You guys gotta get excited about this. We're going to Lake Tahoe.
We're not actually going to Lake Tahoe.
We're actually going to Lake Tahoe right now.
What? I wonder if this is true.
You're not using wonder right.
It's also going to be freezing.
Exactly. Wonderful. Father, why is there traffic?
Because you decided to go at Russia.
Well, you know what they say, the best laid plans of mice and men. Plan to bring you guys out here for a time to see my most favorite view from Eagle Rock, from the top of Eagle Rock, but it's snowing, so you can't go up there with all the camera equipment. But I figured I'd at least bring you out to this amazing view. I don't think that 33-degree weather and some snow should get in the way of a wonderful time. Coming in? Ah! Go crazy! Whoa! Kids, don't try this at home. Yeah, we've actually been using that as part of our training. Anyway, back to the main story. What happened next was actually something quite wonderful. There was a break in the clouds. As soon as we let go, or as soon as I let go of my desires to get the video exactly how I wanted it, and I was like, all right, let's just have fun with it anyway. That's when there was a break in the weather, so we climbed.
Aristotle, of course, said that wonder is the beginning of philosophy, but that doesn't help us very much. He also suggested, St. Thomas Aquinas does too, that wonder is this circumstance of experiencing some effect and not knowing what the cause is. So you're looking for the cause of something. That's pretty good too, but I don't think that quite gets at it either. So for example, here, what awakens wonder in me in a way, as much as the gorgeous view, is that over there, there's some trees that are just turning color. You can see the tops of them now in the sun. It strikes me how unnecessary they are in this whole view. There's something quite, to me, wonderful about that. So, what is wonder then? It has to do with being surprised, I think, or when our attention is called out from us. So we go through most of life anesthetized to our environment because we're so used to it. Even anesthetized to our friends because we expect them to say the same stupid things they always do. And there's nothing really wonderful about that. So I think wonder we wonder when we're surprised, or Our Lady, I think, really says it best. Wonder. It's when you're moved to ask, how can this be? And so it's the very fact of something. If we ask really, how can this be? We're kind of searching for the beginning of something, it seems to me. I'm sorry, I'm already speaking poetically. We're looking to something revealed, it seems to me.
Even in nature?
Even in nature, yeah. If we're talking about beginnings, we're talking about how this is presented to us and why it is, somehow. Not just factually, where did it come from? We could have some scientist here explaining the whole thing to us, and much of what he said could really be interesting, but it wouldn't satisfy. All right, but
well, can anything
wonderful?
Really satisfy wonder? Can any answer keep on going, keep on delving deeper into the mystery?
No, not until we see the face of God, I suppose. That'd do it. But short of that, wonder cannot be satisfied with simple explanations.
What do you say? This is the worst thing?
The worst hike ever? That was I was thinking going up the thing.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
But revelation, someone says, I love you. What do you do with it? And it seems to me you have two options only. You can either say, how can this be? If you really take it seriously. Or you can say, how can I know this?
Like what Zechariah did.
Like what Zechariah did, yeah. In other words, you can doubt it.
So big contrast between Mary and Zechariah, how they responded in when something has been revealed to them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He said, how can I know this? And she said, how can this be? So she started immediately to wonder, and he closed it off. And I really think wonder is opposed to doubt, and doubt to wonder. If you doubt, you can't wonder.
So in order to wonder, you have to actually accept the fact of something, accept that something is.
Yeah, because
so you have to
we're
believe
interested
something
in the very fact of something, right?
So you have to believe something in order to wonder.
Yep.
You have to believe that this person says I love you, that they mean it. You have to believe that whatever has been revealed is what is true.
Right.
So
exactly.
I guess similarly, when you look at this view, it's like I believe that this is created for something grand. For me to receive it in this way too.
Well, you're supposed to look at it and say, thanks, Dad.
Abba.
Yeah. But now, doubt, systematic doubt, has been taught ever since Descartes, in a certain sense, as a basis for science. And maybe that's why, in a sense, we haven't been very philosophic. Now, by that I think he didn't exclude wonder. What Descartes, after all, was wondering about was how he could have certain knowledge of anything. So he was still wondering. It's just not maybe a very productive question. Yeah, the great minds have always wondered.
What about the regular minds?
I think we wonder as well. Well, and that's why the idea of holiday or vacation, a break from what is ordinary, the human spirit really needs that. Because we have to get back to the beginning. Now, you said this is a place of memories. So it's not so much for me. As a matter of fact, I've never been here before, at least in this.
But is it still wonderful?
But it is. It's quite wonderful. The whole thing about being human is that our story starts in the middle. So I can remember back to about 3, and I think I actually can. I have memories at 3 years old. And of course I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. So our whole life is in the middle. So we're sort of, there's an English expression, I don't know if it's American as well. They're born in the middle of the week looking both ways for Sunday. But it sort of characterizes the human life. So our story, in a certain sense, was already begun before we were aware of it. And of course it's going somewhere, I'm not aware of that either.
Wonderful.
But I think, and so how do we take it? And in a sense, there's a sort of nostalgia for beginnings, and I think wonder has a lot to do with that. And then to answer, how can this be, requires that we pay very close attention to what is. And I really do think, by the way, the apparently unnecessary things are a real clue for us always, and something that can start wonder. Someone's packing groceries for you at the store or something and says something particularly nice or compliments you or something. It's totally unnecessary, but that's the thing you'll remember because it's unnecessary in a way. So it's the gratuitous things, the unnecessary things that I think spark wonder. Or being told something that is apparently incredible. Like Our Lady, who is a virgin, told she's going to bear a son. That would be quite wonderful. And she responds, how can this be? But I think she means it. And so she ponders all these things in her heart.
Is that aspect part of the wonder? Is not just how can this be, asking the question, but sitting with?
Sitting with, exactly. Yeah.
Very, very much related to faith. Faithfulness is
Yeah, faithful. Yeah, faithful if we stay with something. Yeah. We just stay with it. In our tradition, the things that Jesus says, we stay with them. I have a rule, and that is that if what he says seems to be just ordinary or matter of fact, or anyone could have said that, then I clearly haven't got it yet. It's a very nice discipline at the end of the day to reflect on what you actually saw. And it will almost always be something that was unnecessary or that caught our attention for that reason.
Something that affected you in some way.
Something that affected
Usually
exactly.
something bad or something good.
Yeah, or something unusual. But yeah, our Lord in this season tells us to stay awake. And the way to stay awake is to wonder.
So that would relate to the wake up to die well?
Yeah, wake up and die right.
Let me get goosebumps first, hold on.
How do I wonder?
Step 1, pay attention to things. Well, and you can ask the same question that Our Lady does in this gospel. How can this be? I think that's a perfect way of expressing what is wonder. How can this be?
I think kids have wonder a lot. All the time, like nonstop. And most adults don't. So I would start with that thought.
Where does it go?
Wonder. I don't know, dude. I have no idea. But, run a diagnostic on yourself. If you're asking me personally, that would be what I would first do. Do I feel wonder? Is it something that is normal in my experience every day? Or is it something that might be lacking?
I think it'll be much better if we go outside for this because it's wonderful out here. Ah! Blinded by the light. Oh, everything reminds me of the song. Blinded by the light, revved up like a deuce coupe in the middle. Oh, that's not a deuce coupe, that's a Honda Civic.